talk about a topic that can be pretty depressing. It's not super sexy, and a lot of times it doesn't get very many views. So the question is, why men's mental health? The truth is, there are a ton of reasons, starting with the fact that I had an uncle at an early age die by suicide. My mom's brother died when I was very young by suicide, and the effects of that, although they weren't incredibly impactful on me at a personal level because I was so young, were very impactful to my family. And that event, that death, still impacts and affects my family to this day, and probably affects how I talk about the subject and why I talk about it, and how I discuss it with my wife or with my kids. Statistically, men make up 80% of all suicide deaths, even though we're 49% of the population. Men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women. Men make up 80% of people experiencing homelessness here in the U.S. Men are 80% of all inmates in the U.S. Some studies even said 90%. So there's an issue. And there's a huge stigma surrounding men's mental health where it's not okay or cool or normal to talk about. Men are expected to be strong and stoic and protectors and providers. So naturally, when they show what's perceived as weakness or seek help, sometimes they're ridiculed. It just creates and continues to perpetuate this stigma around men seeking help when they need it, or just in general, men talking about emotions or feelings that are supernatural, normal. A huge premise of mine is that if we talk about men's mental health, if we make it a normal conversation, it'll become less stigmatized, it'll feel more normal to discuss. We can get to a place where guys feel comfortable saying things like, yeah, I was bummed out, right? Sad. I had emotions. And it's just a normal conversation instead of it being something where if I'm in a room with a bunch of friends and a guy starts talking about being sad, it feels weird. It feels weird to me today, but I don't believe that it should. And I do believe that that is part of the reason why such a disproportionate number of those deaths are men. With that belief came this adoption of the slogan, break the silence in the stigma. I created a website, I created a bunch of social media accounts to promote the message of men prioritizing their mental health and promoting positivity within that mission. I am working to establish a community for men to come and have conversations about mental health, about hobbies, about things that they do to prioritize themselves or make themselves the priority, right? Self-care for guys. I tend to call it guy time because it seems less stigmatized. Men can feel comfortable coming to the website and engaging in conversation without stigma. I've included some resources on the website, and I am working daily to try to build a brand that encourages men to take care of themselves so that we can impact those numbers and statistics that I talked about earlier. I think that if we utilize hobbies appropriately, it'll help. Guys are often hesitant in today's world to just go fishing, link up with some buddies, watch a game, play a round of golf, go to the driving range, or go do some other thing that they enjoy with people that they enjoy doing those things with. And I hope that this brand will help guys think about new ways that they can engage in new hobbies and prioritize themselves and better take care of themselves. My hope is that the website will be a place where guys can connect with people who experience similar challenges and can share ways that they maybe overcome those challenges or deal with them on a daily basis. Sort of learn from one another, support one another. And it also feels less stigmatizing because it's online, right? It's not in a room together. We don't necessarily really know each other at that level. And so it feels less stigmatizing to open up and talk about maybe some struggles that we wouldn't talk about with our buddies, sort of IRL, right, in real life, because it's on the internet. I sincerely think that if we can create a culture where men are comfortable talking about the stuff that they experience, where their headspace is, how they feel, their emotions, the fact that we have them, that we can make a positive impact on the world. I realize that making an impact on the world might sound like a lofty goal, but I genuinely believe that the path to fewer men dying by suicide starts with a conversation about feelings and emotions and why we feel like we can't have that conversation. The fact that a great deal of mental health conditions are caused by chemicals, biology, chemistry, biopsychosocial models, right? It should be normal for us to recognize and accept the fact that we feel the same type of emotions as women, as anybody else in the world. There is also strength in numbers. So the bigger my community gets, the more impactful my brand becomes, the better we're able to really make a larger influence on people and encourage one another to speak up and to talk about things that bother us, to encourage one another to use resources, to encourage one another to seek help when we really need it, and to utilize our community to keep us from getting to a place where we're in crisis. I found myself a few months ago uniquely positioned to be able to start this brand and make an impact on something that mattered. So I chose men's mental health. It's not sexy. It's sometimes tough to get a lot of views, but step by step, we'll build this community, we'll make an impact, and we will break the silence and end the stigma surrounding men's mental health. Thanks, guys.